Okay, let's go ahead and work our way from the bottom to the top and do another pass. So if I'm looking at the wooden portion of this handle, main things I'm seeing is that we have this sort of umber red here tone that I want to get in, and then we have some darker like grime. So I'll probably add another layer of grime to capture this, and then another layer of color. So let's go ahead and do that. So I've opened up this wood, and I'll create another fill layer. Make sure it's inside the wood layer. And the fill color, I'm going to go ahead and first let's turn off everything except for color. And I'm going to click on this gray box, use the color picker, and then I'm going to find a color that's similar, and I'm using the color picker over top of the image. So I'm looking for that sort of like umber red. Going to add a, let's see, I'm going to rename this red tones. Going to add a black mask. And then I'm going to find a brush. Let's see. Let's go ahead and use Dirt 1. Just kind of paint this on here. Kind of extends up part way. Let's go ahead and check the seam. We'll add a little bit to the bottom here, since kind of splotches. Alright, let's adjust the color. I think it's not quite right. So I think it needs some more red to it. Let's see. And then let's use a gray and just kind of get some opacity going here by painting gray on the mask instead of just black and white to help blend it. Break it up. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and get the final grime pass here. So I'm going to actually duplicate this layer, and I'll name it Grime 2. I'm going to remove the mask, add a black mask, and let's try painting this on by hand. See, dirt brushed. I'm going to come up here, so I'm going to use dirt brush, and I'm going to change the angle jitter to 0. And change the angle to 0. And I'm going to turn the flow down a little bit. And I'll make sure that you change your brush size so that it's not looking like just one big, and I should actually change the value of this as well, or the color. Be something a little different. Just to add variation. There we go. Let's go back here. something large, and then I'll turn grayscale down just to turn the flow back up. And we'll adjust the position jitter a little bit. And turn the size of the brush down. Let's adjust this color again. Okay, I'll take the grime 2 and I'm going to turn the opacity down just a little bit. It's a little strong. That looks better. And then let's go ahead and do a roughness pass over this. So create a new fill layer, turn everything off but roughness. And for roughness, let's go ahead and let's explore. I just want something to like break it up and make it uneven. So this roughness grunge, this grunge dirt scratchy seems pretty good. It's very shiny obviously, but we can control that. So let's go ahead and do a couple things. Let's play with this a little bit. Let's turn the balance up some so we get more contrast. Maybe not that much. Let's change this to triplanar. Just gonna change this. Change the scale to 3, I think. And then up here where it says base color, I'm changing this to roughness, and I change this where it says fill layer 2, let's change that to rough pass wood. Change this to overlay. And now you can see that when light is passing over this, it's broken up through the roughness. So we could play with this a lot more if we want to, but I'm going to go ahead and move forward. And let's do something similar where we break up the roughness. So same process. Fill layer, turn everything off but roughness. Let's do scratches. Increase the scale. Change this to triplanar. Increase the number of scratches. Turn up the tiling. That's fine. And then making sure that this is on roughness, I'm going to change this. Let's try overlay again. Yeah, so let's invert it. Let's invert this. And then let's change this to overlay. And I'm going to take the opacity and just turn the opacity down a little bit. Maybe down a little bit more. Just want a hint of those little fine scratches, and yeah, that's pretty good. Name this roughness pass. Brass. All right, for this top portion, let's go ahead and steel rust nowhere. Let's do some grime. So I'm going to add a fill layer, make the base color something dark like that. I'll keep roughness on, and I'll turn the roughness up as well. And then let's go to our smart mass, and let's do some sort of surface. Let's try this dirt dusty, and I'll rename this to grime. Turn the balance up, and then let's add a paint layer to this. So right click on the mask and hit add paint, and let's choose a different brush. So brushes, let's go to dirt 2, decrease this, and just kind of start painting on some areas where grime would accrue. Paint out that seam there a little bit. Let's change this to black and paint away. Take the flow and turn that down. Paint away some of this. White, and let's paint some grime in here. Turn the flow back up. That's pretty good, so let's go ahead and make a roughness pass. So another fill layer. Let's choose another grunge. So I just chose grunge map 11. Let's change this to triplanar. Turn hardness down. Increase the scale. And play with this balance a little bit. And then making sure we're still on roughness, I'll change this to overlay. That's pretty good. All right, let's do more with the bit. All right, so I opened up the steel bit folder. I'm gonna select this dark wear, and I'm going to increase the roughness a bit just to break that up. That's already looking better. And let's add some rust to the top here. So I'm going to go to materials, do this rust coarse and drop it underneath the dark wear. Add a black mask. Right click on the black mask, add paint, and paint sort of this tip with some rust, and just add a little bit more down one side, similar to the reference. It's a little heavy-handed, but we can adjust that after we place it. And let's take this rust coarse. Oops. Let's turn this back to normal, or base color. I'm going to turn the opacity down just a little bit. Maybe 80%. Let's go back to the rust layer, select the paint effect, and I want to paint away, put this back to black and paint away some of this over here. It's just too strong. And then let's do a roughness pass on this as well. Let's go down here to this roughness pass and duplicate it and drag it up into this folder at the top. Change this to roughness overlay. And let's see what effect we're getting from that. So this is without it. This is with it. Yeah, that's much better. There's just, at least it's more interesting. It is a little kind of messy up here. So let's go back to this dark wear and select the paint layer. Let's turn flow down on our brush and just increase the size here. Just kind of paint some more wear up here. So we go to this roughness pass copy, and do that. I'm going to rotate this because I'm getting this sort of like almost tree bark horizontal. So let's rotate it 90. Get it more up and down. And then let's go back to roughness and turn the opacity down more. Turn the metal roughness on the steel rust and wear down a little so we get a shinier metal. Alright, so we could press this further if we wanted to, but I think for our first tutorial project, this is a good spot to be in for texturing. In the next video, we'll look at rendering the object in iRay. See you there.